When we first start writing code, our methods are usually simple and focused. But as the project grows, things get more complex. We add new features and change what we need the code to do. Soon, our methods take on too many parameters. It gets hard to tell what the method is really for just by its name and parameters. This is where introduce parameter object technique can help. Hello guys, welcome again. In this lecture, we'll be focusing on the introduce parameter object technique. This technique falls under the method refactoring category in our refactoring diagram. Okay, a parameter object is a class we create to hold multiple parameters that a method needs. We group the related parameters together as properties of this class. Then, our method only takes the one parameter object instead of a long list. This makes the code easier to understand at a glance. By extracting groups of parameters out into their own classes, our methods become simpler. Others can look at the method signature and quickly know what it does and what information it needs. This refactoring technique helps as projects evolve over time. It keeps the code clean and maintainable, even as requirements change. Okay, let's dive into this technique with some examples. Let's imagine we have a method called calculate shipping cost that calculates the shipping cost using factors like weight, dimensions, destination, and shipping method. Right now, the method has many parameters, which can make the code confusing and hard to follow. This is where the introduce parameter object technique becomes useful. To make this refactoring, first we'll make a new class called shipping info. This will hold all the details about shipping. Once we have that shipping info class created, it's time to change the calculate shipping cost method. Instead of listing all those shipping details out, it will now just take the whole shipping info object. Grouping all the shipping parameters into one class makes the method much cleaner. The best part is the method itself can now just focus on calculating costs without all the extra baggage. By extracting those details out, we've made the code way easier to understand at a glance. Okay, let's look at another example. Imagine we've got a method called createUser. It's responsible for making new user accounts. Right now, it's got a big long list of parameters it needs, like first name, last name, and so on. Having to keep track of all those separate parameters makes the code confusing. So, let's use that introduce parameter object technique. We can take all those user details and group them together into a new user info class. Then, our createUser method simply works with one user info object instead of a bunch of parameters. That will make the code much cleaner and more manageable. By putting those related details into a class, it opens things up for the future too. Now that we have that user info object, we can use it in other parts of the program besides just creating users. For example, if we need to update a user later on, we don't have to list out all their info again. We can just pass the user info to an update user method instead. This avoids having to repeat ourselves over and over. So in summary, grouping parameters together not only makes our code more readable, it also prevents duplicating code all around. Okay, done. See you soon.